ndio watu wahisi utamu wa kulipa taxes. In any case, ni gharama kushoot na kupanda. And Rao is saying, hey, very soon atatangaza. Very soon atatangaza. Anatangaza nini? Watu turudi streets. Tunarudi streets kudemand taxes zirudi chini. Tunarudi streets kudemand gharama ya maisha imepanda. Hey, walitu promise, if you remember, walitu promise wakiingia watadili na gharama ya maisha. Ni kama waliamua kudili na maisha wakaachana na gharama. Ladies and gentlemen, karibuni sana kwa show. I invite you to join me. Now, to join us in this show, it's not difficult. Kupitia link ambayo ninakutumia hapo kwa StreamYard. Right? StreamYard inakuja hapo kwa comment section. Angalia tu itakuja na jina Mutembei. Mutembei TV, Mutembei Facebook, Mutembei Official. Itakuja na streamyard.com. Hiyo ndio una click. Ukisha click hiyo link, inakutuma place inaitwa StreamYard. StreamYard ukiingia, asha mic, asha camera ambazo ziko kwa hiyo app, and then unajikuta kwa hii show. We have a great show lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Karibuni sana. Wanadai vipi ya kwamba Gachagua na Ishongwa wamekuwa na katabia siku hizi baada ya kuona wanapoteza umaarufu kule mlimani, ya kwamba sasa wamebrand vijana ni vijana wa kukunywa pombe. Wamebrand vijana eti ni Mongiki. Yeah. Unakubaliana na matamshi hayo ya kwamba these guys, after they perceived that they are losing the support of Mount Kenya, now what they are doing, they are now branding young men. So watu kishiko utaambiwa wewe ni Mongeke, so ingia ndani kaka brother. Despite you supporting this government, now they are saying wewe kijana, kama umetoka hizo sides za mlimani, ukipatikana pasipo place fiti, utaweza ambiwa wewe ni Mongeke, and without cause uko ndani. Karibu kwa show. Let me know what you think about what Raila Odinga is saying, and about many other leaders that spoke today. Ingia show,
Mount Kenya region ranks highest in uptake of the Women Enterprise Fund and the lowest in loan delinquency. And therefore, when you begin to look at this, women in the villages as whatever activity they're taking on as business activities, essentially what you're doing is killing that sector. As Mount Kenya leaders, we're also very aware that this regime would like to kill our small businesses. If you go through the finance bill, once again, if you sell chai and mandazi, those small vibandas that we have in the village, and you only sell 1,300 shillings a day, those are 10, 12 cups of tea and mandazi in the village. You will now be paying to this government about 15,000 shillings a year. So
namuona dadangu shaingia, dadangu Mwash. Vipi dada?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well.
Jema sana, nashukuru.
Great to have you.
Asante. Asante, karibu pia wali.
Nashukuru sana. Nakuuliza vipi? Wewe unakubaliana na matamshi ya Raila Odinga?
Nafurahi kabisa. Nafurahia. Nimeingia hivi tu nikaona. Nimefurahia. Wacha maandamano iwe jamani. Tunaumia. Mbona mpaka nakula kwa mnyore? Ndio mnyore. Maisha ni mbaya. Hii nimepituka nao kwa mtu. Nikishika mnionyanyike. Mnyore ni karatasi. Ni kubaya. Ni kubaya. Unaona
sasa wewe unadai watu warudi kwa maandamano. Huyo ametoka akisema ni kubaya. Lakini zaidi ya yote, karibu sana wewe ambao unajiunga nami. Namuona Wash ni Washi 254 ako ndani. Karibu sana, sijui kama ni dada ama ni ndugu, but karibu kwa show. Namuona Mohamed ako ndani, Jackson Gishuru ako ndani, Simba Mzungu ako ndani, Emily Mecha ako ndani, Mike Jeriot ako ndani. Wewe uko wapi? Let me know where you're watching me from. Kujiunga nasi kwa show si ngumu, kupitia link ambayo unatumiwa hapo na Mutembei TV, Mutembei Live, Mutembei YouTube na Mutembei Facebook. Hiyo link itajiita StreamYard. Hiyo ndio link unaingia nayo kwa show, unajikuta uko ndani ukiwa gangari kabisa. Aha, Robert, habari ya leo? Robert vipi? Okay, even as Robert ana mute side moja kwa amewasha vitu mbili, either StreamYard pamoja na YouTube. Wewe unaweza jiunga nami kwa show. Tunapo make sense of what is happening today. Evelyn, just I see you, unasema uko ndani katika maeneo ya code 4949. Huko hiyo ni nchi gani? Lakini ni sawa. Namuona Mohamed Abdile ananiambia ako US na ako locked. Watu wa Mlima Kenya wamejitokeza. Today we had speakers from Mount Kenya wakisema ya kwamba Rigiji anafanya vituko kule Mount Kenya.
Our Mount Kenya businesses that is going for women. I mean, in very mundane and desperate things like trying to charge wigs and weaves and very small desperate measures. Most of those businesses that sell those wigs and do those beauty activity are owned and run by women. So as women of Mount Kenya, we are seeing a regime that is out to hurt our businesses, that is out to hurt our activities as women. And therefore, we want to call them out at these very...
Okay. Huyo ni former deputy governor wa Nyeri. Anasema hii regime imekuja kunyanyasa kina mama. Anadai vipi ya kwamba kina mama mna tabia nzuri ya kwenda salon na kuwekwa human hair, kitu safi. Unaenda unafanywa vitu poa kule salon. Lakini sasa hii gava itakutoza ushuru kwa hiyo human hair. Utakuwa unatembea hivi, KRA inapita na human hair na kuambia bro, sorry madam, haujalipia hii human hair. Nakwambia ushuru ya raundi inabamba kushika, wacha tu. That ladies itakuwa ni gharama kwa mrembo. What the DP is saying ya kwamba is wamama raundi imekuwa ngumu. Despite maisha kupanda, kuwa mrembo nayo itakuwa gharama. Sijui kama umemsikia, hii clip ni refu, ndajaribu kukatakata for you so that you can get the feel ya hawa jamaa wa Azimio and what they are saying. This is the former DP DG, deputy governor wa Nyeri, anadai kuwa mrembo raundi kina dada mtati. Mtati. Kuna kamafuta kao kanaitwa tajiri. I think hiyo naomba tu serikali tafadhali kasipandishwe bei. Tunaweza jipaka hako. But meanwhile, sikizeni story.
In the Ministry of Gender, the Mount Kenya region ranks highest in uptake of the Women Enterprise Fund and the lowest in loan delinquency. And therefore, when you begin to look at this, women in the villages as whatever activity they're taking on as business activities, essentially what you're doing is killing that sector. As Mount Kenya leaders, we're also very aware that this regime would like to kill our small businesses. If you go through the finance bill, once again, if you sell chai and mandazi, those small vibandas that we have in the village, and you only sell 1,300 shillings a day, those are 10, 12 cups of tea and mandazi in the village, you will now be paying to this government about 15,000 shillings a year. So ideally, we see a regime that is out to kill our Mount Kenya businesses, that is going for women. I mean, in very mundane and desperate things like trying to charge wigs and weaves and very small desperate measures. Most of those businesses that sell those wigs and do those beauty activity are owned and run by women. So as women of Mount Kenya, we are seeing a regime that is out to hurt our businesses, that is out to hurt our activities as women. And therefore, we want to call them out at these very early opportunities to tell them we will not stop to say that we will not be intimidated to say that for an illegitimate regime, I think you have a lot of guts to do what you
kila mahali.
Nataka ndani ya show, pole wacha nimumute. Lakini zaidi ya yote watata, Chebukati alitufanyia nini wadau? Chebukati alitufanya ile kitu baada ya kumtangaza huyu jamaa kuwa rais. Unaona vile Rataza ameshai, nakwambia itakuwa gharama kuwa mrembo Rataza. Mwash nakwambia Mawish, sorry, utakuwa unang'ang'ana kuwa mrembo raundi. Wewe unaona vipi? Utatoboa? Mawish vipi? Washa mic yako, pole nimeimute. Okay. As Mawish tunajaribu kumconnect vizuri, naona ako na mshiki maeneo yake, lakini kina dada raundi mmepatikana. Nakwambia ilikuwa cheap kwa dem, lakini raundi we. Wandugu itabidi mmechangamka. Sasa nakwambia kona mshiki, lakini tusikize Wajakoya. Wajakoya naye alikuja na vishindo kwa hiyo meeting. Sikizeni huyu mzee. This is Wajakoya, the one.
The Scottish National Party and also other political parties to look into the issue of thematic assassinations and killings of the Kikuyu male, of the Kikuyu young male, and depopulating their women. And this history that we are writing down. As a result of that, we lobbied the United Nations Human Rights Commission, of which they sent our special rapporteur, Professor Philip Sons, who came on a fact-finding mission in this country, and then he found out, what he found out was very appalling. He made his report to the United Nations in New York, and then the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in Switzerland came up with guidelines on how to treat asylum seekers from this nation, especially of the Kikuyu origin. And that's why we heard for the first time lots of them being given asylum in the UK. I went ahead and joined the then president of Ghana, Jerry Rawlings, whom we convinced to share the community. How do you feel when one man who's using taxes belonging to the Kenyan people, who wants to eliminate the entire society, you kill one Kikuyu, 10 are born every day. Moi tried that. Kill 5, 100 are born. These are like the Jewish people. You cannot eliminate. Muzungus tried and they failed. Thank you very much.
Huyo ni Wajakoya, anadai ya kwamba ni ngumu kumaliza jamii ya Wakikuyu, lakini anyway, wadau, karibuni sana kwa show. Kuingia kwa show, as I've explained, is not difficult. Kupitia link ambayo nimekutumia hapo chini, link inaingia na Mutembei Official, Mutembei TV, Mutembei YouTube, Mutembei Facebook. Hizo link ukiguza moja yazo, inakuleta place inaitwa StreamYard. Tuko na mambo mengi ya kudiscuss. Zaidi ya yote, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of this wonderful show. Asante sana wewe ambaye unatumia ujumbe. Let me know where you're watching me from, and zaidi ya yote, what is your take? Is Uhuru, not Uhuru, man, kama ninapenda mzee bado, lakini sawa. Is Ruto losing the grip of Mount Kenya? And if he's so losing the grip of Mount Kenya, is the tact of using Mongeke a scare gimmick ili asipoteze uungwaji mkono wa Mount Kenya? And if he's losing it, who is gaining it? Is Raila gaining the support of Mount Kenya? Today they paraded one Mount Kenya leader after another. Hii meeting ukisikiza ilikuwa, in fact even Raila Odinga went out and said hii ni meeting ilikuwa purely ya Mount Kenya leaders. Wanadai vipi ya kwamba Maina Jenga anatumia tu kubrand vijana wa Mount Kenya kama Mungiki, na Ishongwa pamoja na Gachagua wanaeneza uvumi ya kwamba vijana wa Central ni walevi, hao ambao waliitwa hustler, hao ambao waliwapigia kura. Sasa saa hii they are being labeled as drunk and Mungiki. Now, wadau, let's come in and discuss this show. Naona wengi tayari wanajiunga nami. Kujiunga nami, as I explain again, ni kupitia Mutembei TV, Mutembei Official, Mutembei Facebook, Mutembei YouTube. Now, hizo links zinakupeleka moja kwa moja hadi StreamYard. Hapo StreamYard ukiingia unafanya nini? Unaasha mic, unaasha kamera, alafu unaandika jina lako. This guy, anaitwa Eugene Wamalo. Eugene Wamalo naye alikuja. Huyu si wa Mlima Kenya, lakini akona information kidogo, msikize kiasi.
And what they are planning to do. Chinua Achebe once said, when you see a toad jumping in broad daylight, there is something after its life. When you see someone who is supposed to be a president of a country and a symbol of national unity threatening members of parliament. Someone who is supposed to be a deputy president threatening members of parliament and literally blackmailing members of parliament that if you do not do this, you will not get roads or you will not get development in your regions. There is something terribly wrong with what Bwana Ruto na Bwana Gachagua wamesema jana kutoa vitisho kwa wabunge wetu. But we also know that out there in the mountain, because they are aware they have lost support, they are preparing to use very strong arm tactics. And we are talking about a repressive regime that intends to mute the rebellion that is building in the mountain. And how will they do that? They say you give a dog a bad name and you hang it. As they are losing the support of majority of the young people, the boda-bodas, the mamambogas, the threat in the mountain is going to be like the days of Nyayo, the days of Kenya. All they needed to do is brand you a Kenya and plant something on you, and you'll be arrested. In the mountain, before open dissent is seen, they intend to use the word mungiki. Brand any young person who might be rebelling against this regime, including the boda who are feeling the weight of the high cost of petrol. And today they are no longer singing about the hustler who pretended to be one of them and has now abandoned that mamamboga who was on the headlines today. We want to thank you, the media, for calling out William Ruto and his lies and for exposing the big lie that was using the mamambogas and the boda-bodas and the hustlers to get to power and then forgetting about them. So we want to say...
Now, pause kidogo. Acha tu pause kidogo. Now, jamaa Eugene anadai vipi ya kwamba baada ya kutumia vijana kuimba Hustler Nation na bodaboda na mamamboga kidogo wamesahaulika. Wewe unahisi kweli wamesahaulika? I think maybe. But Eugene anadai hivi ya kwamba baada ya kuingia katika uongozi hawa watu wamesahau regime. Hii regime imesahau watu wa Kenya. Sasa what they are doing, they are branding young men and women that these are not Kenyans, these are mongeki, these are drunkards. Mami vipi, habari ya leo? Good to see you.
Nice to see you. How are you?
I'm fine. Karibu sana kwa show.
Asanti, wewe umeamsha wale wamelala na wewe utalala ama aje?
Sawa. Lakini mama, hata nikuulize. Hii regime imekuwa moja kali ya kwamba hata kuwa mrembo raundi itakuwa gharama. Sasa hii tax imekuja kukimbisha kila moja. Na today Raila Odinga is also claiming that they are feeling they have lost the touch of Mount Kenya. That's why they are branding the youth, calling them mungiki and drunkards. Do you agree with those sentiments?
I really don't, because whatever he is trying to do is a kind of naming things in his own ideology. You know, thinking that things are going to change because of his calling names. Huyu ni mtu ambaye kabisa ni narcissistic kabisa. The symptoms, all of them pointed to him completely. Kama ungemuona wakati ule alikuwa huko Narok, vile hiyo sura yake ilichange, akipinpoint, ana point watu na kidole, ati ebu jaribu. As if they are children. Hawa si watoto, ni watu wako na majamii na watu wamesimamia population kubwa sana. Na kwa hivyo sasa huyu mtu anatuchukua ufala sana na kuwa atatutolea amri na tufanye vile anasema, as if we eat in his house. We live on our own and we live with our own way of how we work and budget for our life. So for him to come up and bringing all this harshness, hiyo harshness apeleke mbali sana. Kama anataka kufanya watu watumwa, si sasa. Watu wameelevuka Kenya, wameamuka, wameelewa yeye ni nani. And in fact, he is forgetting that you cannot lie for a long time. People will discover you. They will know who you are. And for you to keep on lying to Kenyans and try to swindle their mind, we are not going to accept that. We are beyond that. Akuje pole pole. Na ajue, mjinga akierefuka.
Mwerevu yumashakani.
Kabisa.
Yumashakani.
Kwa hivyo asione kama watu wamekaa tu kukaa. Go ahead.
Ma'am, ukimtazama huyu mjamaa jana, as you rightfully say, alikuwa na ukali mwingi kwa viongozi, akiwaambia nione atakayejaribu kuiangusha. Na yeye kutishia wabunge ni mbinu ya kuwaeka uoga, ama ni yeye kujaribu kucontrol parliament?
Simply, this shows that the much he has bought them, he thinks that he is under control. He thinks that he has got all the powers. Na unajua kuna watu hata wengine wanaweza chukua mali yako na waseme potelea mbali, kwa sababu huwezi kutuonyesha kwenda shimo. Now, these people, if they were bought, they were given money, they should know that they are hooked now. They are on hook. Kwa sababu, kumbuka wananchi, ndio waliwachagua wakawaweka wapi? Pale. Na sasa wanaenda kuvote kwa mtu ambaye hata hakuchaguliwa. Ni mtu hata wao wenyewe in their own brains. They know this guy was not elected. And they know this guy what he did with all the power that he has right now. So he should not even come out harsh like that while knowing what he did and while knowing his ground is shaky. Right now, people are not with him. The wananchi. I hope you agree with me. The wananchi are not with him. They have decided otherwise. Na kwa hivyo shida zetu sasa, sisi hatutaki hata atatue, sisi tunataka atoke. Because it's a long time. He has not done anything. He's still lying and lying and lying. We cannot depend on lies. Na hiyo maisha yote ametupeleka na njia hizo. Tumemesha muelewa ni mtu wa aina gani. He is a real dictator. That one with no question. Ni narcissistic. Na symptoms zimekubaliana na yeye. Na ni dictator. Na dictator wengi, in fact, they are narcissistic. Kwa sababu hawataki mtu afikiri out of the box. They want you just stay in the box. That's the much I can see.
Mami, unatumia kizungu kubwa, lakini kwa sababu ya viewers wangu kwa sababu ya viewers ambao wanatutazama, ambao ni wengi, umetumia jina narcissist. Hiyo inamaanisha nini?
Narcissist ni mtu ambaye anajipenda. Anataka watu wafuate vile yeye anasema. Na ni mtu arrogant, ni mtu wa makasiriko. Ni mtu ambaye yeye mwenyewe ako na kiburi. Na hataki mtu adiscover yeye ako na hiyo shida. So he tries so much kujiweka ati yeye ndiye anajielewa na mumuelewe hivyo na msikanushe.
Now, umesema ni mtu anajipenda na anataka kuonyesha ni yeye, kama yeye ndio kila kitu. Ukimsikiza William Ruto, he talks of almost all the ministries that we at times forget that akona wasaidizi ambao ni cabinet secretaries. Why does he do that? Mbona so far there is none of his cabinet ministers who is so shining like him. He's like a one-man show. Why do you think he's almost controlling everything by himself?
because he
is
is
he able to do
narcissistic.
it by himself?
Because he is narcissistic. Yeah. Ni mtu hataki kukanushwa na anybody. Ni mtu hataki kusikia mtu mwingine ako na another idea. Because he is on that straight line. Unaona? He is on a straight line. He don't wanna pave. Ni mtu hana empathy. Empathy hana mafikira ya watu wengine. Hawafikiri watu wengine what they will face or what they feel. Hiyo hana haja. Kwa hivyo huyu kabisa, if it's I will urge psychologists to start working in Kenya because they will be very rich. Most of these people in UDA, most of them, they are narcissistic. If you look at them, and it is like a disease that has carried them away from people who they elected, who elected them. Completely, they feel like they are bossy. They are bossy. They want to live that they want to live in that perimeter, na hata wewe akikuita ukae hapo na usiuinuke na usiende na even try to move. Yeah. These are very,
what do you think
it is
changed?
very dangerous.
Because during Mami, what do you think changed? Because during campaigns he alikaa kama ni mtu watu, he had policies that made him believed these are policies that would help ule mtu wa chini, lakini once he's in power it's like a 360 change, and he no longer speaks about huyo wa chini. He's more concerned of things that probably huyo mtu wa chini hafeel kama ziko important at the moment, and huyo mtu wa chini ana feel oppressed and feel anakimbishwa mbio sana na mtu ambaye alijitokeza kama ni mtu watu, mtu ambaye anajali huyo mtu wa chini. What do you think informed his change? Because he has really changed from the guy who was campaigning to now the guy who is the president.
Let me tell you, those people are very, very cunning. They are very smart. They know how to keep their secrets. They cannot rupture when things are not ripened. So they keep it. And they know what they are doing. They are very, they know very well what they are doing. And they know when they are trying to carry, let's say, to carry their mission in a very strategic way that you will not discover before they win their way. Kwa hivyo usione kama ati alikuwa mzuri siku hiyo sasa ako mbaya, ni nini ilifanyika? Hakuna kitu amefanywa. That is the strategy of a narcissistic. Atawaambia vizuri, atawapea maono yake, atawaonyesha hata njia mzuri vile anatakikana, mnatakikana kuishi vizuri. It is how you can take your children and tell them, watoto wangu sasa mmeketi kwa meza hivi, labda mnakula, uambie I'm planning, I'm gonna build a big house, gorofa, kila mtu atakuwa na nyumba. Yani that picture is being drawn in their mind. Kila mtu atakuwa na bedroom yake, iko na kitanda ya queen size, iko na choo na bafu, all this. Now the children will take that seriously because who is telling us? It's our dad. Na baba hawezi kutudanganya. But it is not in him. It is just a talk on the table just to make pleasant moment. But the moment he will change, alafu watoto wamuulize, sasa baba ulituambia utatujengea, ataanza kuambia, mnaona mimi ile shida ninaenda saa hii, mna expect nijenge nyumba namna gani na zile shida niko nazo? Yeah. So hii strategy alikuwa ameijua vizuri sana, amemaster. Na ni vibaya sana kwa sababu anacheza na nchi. Anacheza na nchi yetu Kenya. In fact, it is very, very sad and very, very terrible stuff that we are facing. Horrible, yes.
Mama, with these taxes, with this, and of course the financial bill, do you think it was informed based on mwananchi, or there's a lot that meets the eye ambayo imejificha kule ndani?
Mimi kusema kweli, hii mambo yote ameleta. This guy has a way of earning money through our efforts. na kutaka hata kumaliza wale
Okay.
ambao wanajimudu kivyao, sababu kama ukiona hawa watu ambao wamejitengenezea tu biashara yao kidogo kidogo, wanataka kuishi maisha kama watu wale wengine na hawategemei serikali, instead of even appreciating that we don't have street men, street boys or street women on the street, because they wanaweza jimudu kutengeneza tu biashara ndio waweze kujiangalia maisha yao na hawategemei serikali. He is even going for those people who are trying, trying to make ends meet, trying, kwa sababu hawawezi. Hii nchi imekuwa na tabu mingi sana, na tabu inazidi kuwa kubwa. Sasa hebu imagine kwanza kusema ati baby formula ati inawekwa taxes, mtoto hajazaliwa,
Okay.
already akiwa hajazaliwa ako na mzigo, ati akizaliwa hivi anaubeba hapo hapo. Hiyo ni shida gani? That's a lot of problems created in Kenya. Na hii bill in fact, isipokuwa tunasema apitishe ndio watu wakasirike, watokee waende kwa street, yeye amefanya jukumu yake ndio afaidike, apate pesa kutoka kwa kila mwanadamu. Si unaona, that one also qualifies him. It qualifies him being an narcissistic. Si unaona sasa yeye hajali masilahi ya mtu yeyote at all.
Okay.
And that is one symptom. Hajali, kwa sababu kama anajali, this is not the trend that he would follow. This is not what he should do for people to go through all this pain and suffering. Hii ni mambo ambayo angekuwa already amejipanga huko, na tena hata hii mambo yote amewekelea watu tuwe tuna bills zake, because we are paying his bills. It is not that we are paying bills for the country, we are paying his bills. These safaris na hii mambo yote anafanya ya kuandika watu extra ambao hatukuwa tunatarajia, na nchi hawataki watu kama hao. This is how he has brought this country down. Ameleta mambo mingi ambayo anasema hana pesa, na bado anaweka nini? Watu wengine hapo ndio wanyanyase nchi. Na sasa it's just feeding the royalty. Royals wake ndio anawafeed. Na anawafeed na nini? Na energy ya asiyejiweza. Na asiyejiweza atafanya nini? Atakufa. Kwa sababu kile kidogo alikuwa anapata, now it will be nothing. He will not be getting it. So he is deteriorating everybody's life from up down. Hakuna mtu ako na maisha mzuri tena, ukumbuke. Hakuna mtu ako na furaha this time. Hata nyumbani kwa mtu ukienda hakuna furaha, hakuna kicheko siku hizi. Imeisha. Yeah.
Okay.
So this bill,
swali ya mwisho kabla sijapea hao ndugu ambao wame
it means finishing Kenya. And I'm sorry, I have a call. Nitarudi tena Jets.
Okay.
Umenielewa?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you very much. I see my brother Edgar. Yeah. I really appreciate. Asante sana Kenya maandamano kamili. I thank you for your sentiments, and I really appreciate to also have you back as well. I still had some more questions, but asante sana. Now
I'll be back.
I see Penya Gaka is in. Edgar. Okay, thank you. Edgar akondani na wengi ambao pia mnatufuata, asanteni sana, and I ask you guys kindly tusaidie like hii video hapo kwa YouTube and also share hapo kwa Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a great discussion happening here live at Mutembei TV. I have my brothers Penya Gaka and Edgar as well joining me, and we have a lot to discuss. I see Remesu Yegona Kondani, Alviza Johnston, I see you. Geoffrey Ruto, I see you. My brother Lofty Madagani, I see you. And many who are tuning in and commenting hapo kwa comment section. Let us know what is your feel. What is your take of what Raila Odinga and his team today raised? And above all, what is also your take on the financial bill? We have a great show, great people discussing issues affecting our country. Edgar, Baba says that he's getting from people the calls for maandamano. And what is your take? If for instance, it was to come back, una feel vipi? Will this be the moment Kenyans have been waiting for, that we can seriously shake a government until it respects the wishes of Kenyans?
Thank you so much, Jakes, and other panelists and those who are watching us through Facebook and YouTube. First of all, I would like to say something about Ruto and Gachagua losing Mount Kenya support, which is very true. Majority of the people or subjects all over the world hawajawahi penda serikali, because most of the policies or bills that are being formulated are actually not going well with us. So there's no way we can give government 100% support like they want. But now on this one, I think they're losing big time. They're losing big time because if you look at last election, the wave was actually so big, and they were riding on the hustler narrative, which many bought and their votes. But now you see what's happening is actually contrary to what many expected. So I'll say I'll echo your sentiment that indeed they are losing support in Mount Kenya region, not only in Mount Kenya but many other regions as well. Now back to Mandamano, which Raila is calling us to go to embark on again. Yes, I'm a Raila supporter, and most of the time, I think this is I'm taking my whole week now listening to the views of the people through Mutembei, and this is the only platform that gives us time or airtime to air out our views, and we always listen. I'll say that not many people want Mandamano. Not that it is bad, but to just punish those who voted for this regime. I always follow proceedings from bunge la mwananchi kule Jacaranda, and the staunch supporters right now are not buying the idea of Mandamano, because it will not change anything after all, because you understand the kind of leaders that we have, the two that we have right now. They have gone ahead to take most of our MPs on their side. And right now, if you listen actually, and even the people that we are fighting for, that we want situation to change through Mandamano, because that is the only language that this government understands. However, they were busy telling others, wale watu wa kurusha mawe. Even wananchi turned against wananchi by saying that we will gang up and stop you, we'll storm Raila's properties. And you saw they were used to vandalize Uhuru's properties and Raila's property at the same time. So going by these events, we as Raila supporters, not that whatever is happening is okay with us, we would love to go to Mandamano, but as things are right now, we just feel like not participating in that Mandamano, so that those who voted for this regime to feel the pain more than even we are feeling. In fact, right now, I'm supporting this bill to be passed, so that yule mwananchi mwenye aliambiwa that whatever we are doing is not, let them feel the pain. So on Mandamano, I'll say no, it will backfire. It will backfire. It won't be successful like it was during the previous sessions.
Just clear up, because I have a question. Tomorrow there's a Mandamano, and I'll make sure I play it, because tomorrow there's a group that's going to the streets. Stay tuned. Mutembei will be airing that. Hope you catch it live. Kesho Tuesday, yes. Tomorrow Tuesday, kuna a group. I'll be telling you more about it even as we go on with the show. Penyagaka vipi?
Many.
Karibu sana kaka, thank you for joining us, and I'm sure you you won't be agreeing with most of what has been said before, but let me ask you, my brother, what do you think is happening to Ruto? Is he losing the grip of Mount Kenya?
Nah, there's nothing like that. The 1 million people who voted for Raila are the one talking about the Raila. I mean, Raila is a joke. It's no big deal. The government we are running is going to be run like this. Period. You have 4 years. You have 4 years, Jake. Anybody who supports Raila, ukienda maandamano, go every day. I mean, there is Kome and the kid. I mean, yule mwingine, what are they doing? So this is how any government starts. Any government all over the world that want to change anything, it is very, very difficult. It's very hard. Even we saw Obama. I mean, no Republican voted for Obama, but when he was about to leave, he was the most popular president. So we are starting. It is not easy. It is not easy to change anything. It is very, very difficult. So, I mean, right now as we speak, I mean, I would ask people like Atito, what are they offering other than criticizing the government of the day? What is their issues? Anybody, if we are going to establish a democracy, you have to have a party, 2, 3 of them against one party. Right now, all they're doing in their press conferences is criticizing the government of the day. Anybody, I can criticize the government, you can criticize the government, but the leadership of the opposition, and these are the people who kept quiet from 2018 to 2022, when before then, they were criticizing, you know, the Eurobond, the what-not, that the government was doing wrong. But when people were stealing from Kemsa, they kept quiet. When Kenyatta was stealing all the money and put it in the island, like Jonathan Namu told us, they kept quiet. So what is their point? The point is to criticize whoever doesn't agree with them, whoever doesn't give Raila a job, he gonna be criticized by everybody that follows Raila. And once Raila get a job, then they are quiet. Yeah, that's it. What did the happen? It's a waste of time to talk about Raila.
I know you'll be I know you'll be ready to defend the government, but all in all, I thank you as well. Who is joining me? I see Benja Akondani, Benson Kiguru Akondani, Kelvin Kimtai pia Akondani, na pia kakangu Derek Okomo amejaja. Vipi kaka, habari ya leo?
Okay, thank you so much. For me, you will allow me to speak in English. For Kiswahili, I will be unable to share.
It's okay. Do it as you wish, sir. we are well able in both languages. Now, I don't know if you listened to Raila Odinga and what he was trying to say today. He, together with the leaders that accompanied him, said that the Mount Kenya is already an issue, and that's why we have leaders like this guy from Laikipia, Mr. What do you call him? Mr. Maina Jenga, being accused of propagating the Mongeke narrative. Why do you think the president, if that is true, why do you think he's doing so?
Yeah, that is a good question. But before I react on that, I wanted to address the Mzee who are just gone. I don't know whether you can allow him back.
No, he's still in the show. He hasn't left. He's the one who has shut his camera, but he's still there. You can see him.
I'm here, young man.
Yes, I've heard my friends who have spoken before me. You've spoken so well, and my brother Edgar, you people have spoken well. It is very important to share your mind. But I want to let into your attention my viewers and other fellow panelists that, you know, as you grow up, when you grow up, there's a certain age. Once you've reached in that age now, your intellectual ability become retarded. So you can't think beyond that. And that is why I've heard my brother, the Mzee, is unable to share his point so eloquently. So Mzee is saying that you don't see the need of Raila organizing for maandamano. At the same